Hi everyone, today I'm going to talk about a little bit different kind of camera than I usually do on my channel, and that is on a dash cam. A couple months back I bought the CoxPal A9D, a dual dash cam to help me make content for my channel. Now, most people buy dash cam for the usual purposes. They want to record incidents that happen on the road so that they can provide that evidence to their insurance company or to the police, etc. And it gives you a sense of security and safety when you're able to record these kinds of incidents. And, that certainly has a place for the dash cam, and I certainly use it for that as well. But I primarily wanted a dual dash cam to record the interior of the vehicle so that I could do some narrative as I was driving by during my vlogs. And I think for that purpose and for the purposes I mentioned earlier about incident type recording, this dash cam does an excellent job. So let's go into why I bought this particular one, and then I'll show you some footage from the camera, and then I'll give you my final thoughts. Okay, let's take a quick look at the dash cam itself, and as you can see, it's relatively small and compact, and I'm going to talk about some of the design features here that I really like. First of all, you'll notice that it's basically all matte black. It's not shiny anywhere except where it has to be, like on the lenses and the screen. But in particular, if you look at the front here, the lens itself does not have some shiny metal ring around it, doesn't have any white lettering inside. I mean, this is all matte black, so that when I have this mounted in my windshield, it's not sticking out like a sore thumb and drawing attention to itself. So that was one of the main things I was looking for in terms of being compact and discreet for a dash cam. And then when we go to the top here, we have our GPS mount here, which I'll show you in a few minutes. And then we also have some air vents here and a USB-C port. But a nice touch here is they also added air vents to the bottom. So it creates a natural airflow for heat to escape out of the top. And I can tell you that heat is your worst enemy when it comes to electronics and image quality. When the sensor gets too hot, your image quality is going to degrade. So I thought that was a nice touch to have this very simple design feature built into the camera to help keep it cool. Because as you know, this is going to sit under your windshield in direct sunlight in a lot of cases. Now, looking at the front here, or the back, we have our interior camera, which can be rotated 360 degrees all the way around. So you can kind of point this depending on how this is mounted onto your windshield, so you get the optimum angle. In my case, I have it just kind of pointed off to the left, so it'll record me primarily. But this is wide enough, as you'll see, to record the entire interior of the vehicle, no matter which direction you have this pointed in. And then we have an adequate screen here. It's a small dash cam, so you're not going to have a giant screen. But once you set the camera, you really don't need to go into the menus anymore. And then we have a very simple to use D-pad here with the OK button in the middle, so you can navigate the menu and change the settings, start and stop recording, etc. And that's it. And then, right here we have the memory card slot, and this will take up to a 256 megabyte memory card to give you 23 plus hours of recording for both front and rear at the same time. All right, let me just give you a quick demo of how this operates in your vehicle. When you start your vehicle, the power goes into the dash cam. You get a little logo here. And then it immediately automatically starts to record in whatever mode you had set up in the menu. And as you can see, here's the front dash cam, and then here's the rear dash cam recording at the same time. And I can stop the recording by just pushing up here, and then I can go into the menu, and this is where all of your settings are. So you can set your resolution, and this camera has 3 resolution settings. I always use the first one here, front and rear, full HD, 30 frames per second. But you can get a 2K or Quad HD 30 frame per second front only, or you can do full HD front only at 60 frames per second. But you buy a dash cam like this for the front and rear capabilities, so just leave it on that. And then it has several other settings here, And whatever the default settings that came with the camera are just fine. But let me show you one other setting here, and that's the auto infrared LED. And what that does is control the LEDs on the interior camera that you can probably see lit up here, or I can turn them off. But I like to leave it on auto so that when it gets dark outside and the interior vehicle is dark, these LEDs will illuminate the entire interior so you can still see what's going on in the vehicle and record that activity. Now, after about a minute or two, the display will go from the camera view to this clock. And if I had this attached to my car to the GPS, it would also show me my speed here in miles per hour or kilometers per hour. Up here, we have the blinking light that lets you know that you're recording. But you can also set the dash cam to turn the display completely off after a few minutes. And instead of looking at the blinking red light, you would just look at the green LED here blinking. That would also confirm that you're recording. Now, one last thing I'll show you is basically the viewing angle of the screen. And as you can see, whether I tilt it this way, barring any reflections, you get a nice clear view of the screen with really no issues. So no matter where you mount this on your windshield, you're going to get a nice clear view. It has very good viewing angles. All right, here's how it looks on the exterior of the vehicle, and as you can see, it's very discreet. It's really only until I zoom all the way in that you can see it, because again, there's no bright silver ring or white lettering on the front. It's just a simple, flat, matte black plastic, which I really like. And then mounting it in the vehicle, you just simply stick the GPS unit, and then the camera can slide on and off very easily from that if you want to take it out with you whenever you travel. And the way I have it mounted on the windshield is a little behind the mirror, but that's okay for me. But I could mount it lower if I wanted a better view. And of course, you can tilt it up and down to get the perfect viewing angle depending on the slope of your windshield. So here's a shot on a nice clear day on the highway. As you can see, we have nice, crisp, bright image, good dynamic range. No issues at all here. It's just beautiful. Along with all of the GPS information at the bottom, my speed, etc., time and date. So you have all your relevant information down there at the bottom, and you can turn those on or off optionally in the menu system. And of course, on the interior shot, you can see it's a nice wide angle. We have a full view of the entire cabin. No problems whatsoever. The only thing I would probably do differently or recommend is you mount the camera a little bit lower than I did so that the rear view mirror is not in the way, and then you'd be able to see the back passengers as well. All right, now here's another highway at night, and as you can see, we have very good dynamic range. We can see really far ahead with just our headlights and then all of the other traffic and everything. And I think the camera's doing a great job here with the image quality. Now looking at the interior, you can see that the infrared LEDs are on, and I've got the ghost eyes going on. But you know, the LEDs do illuminate all the way to the back of the cabin, so you can see pretty well everything that's going on. Just look at the roof line, because, you know, my seats are black, so that's a little deceiving. But it's actually much brighter than that with people in the back. And obviously in the front will be just fine. Now let's talk about the audio on this device. And personally, I felt like it was a little bit too low, the input levels. So I contacted CoxPal about this, and they're very responsive, by the way. If you have any kind of tech support questions, they will email you within 24 hours in my case. And they said they intentionally kept the audio levels very low so that the ambient noise wasn't too loud, but still be able to hear people talking. So what I'm going to do for you is play back the audio straight out of camera, and then I'm going to play another clip where I had to raise the audio level by 22 decibels so you could really hear what people were saying. And then finally I'll show you a clip where I used an external microphone to record the audio. Now these are clips from an actual vlog that I made on my channel. Many of you have probably seen it if you're a subscriber, but I wanted to show you a real clip of me using the camera, not something made specifically for this review. So this is a real life, real world audio clip and review of the sound for this device. So let's go ahead and listen to that.
So there's a group of restaurants about 2.3 miles this way, so it's going to delay me 5 minutes. That way, 5 minutes back, that puts me 10 minutes, and then 10 minutes to eat and get there 5 minutes early. That's a little tight, but I'm going to try it. So there's a group of restaurants about 2.3 miles this way, so it's going to delay me 5 minutes. That way, 5 minutes back, that puts me 10 minutes, and then 10 minutes to eat and get there 5 minutes early. That's a little tight, but I'm going to try it. There's a group of restaurants about 2.3 miles this way, so it's going to delay me 5 minutes. That way, 5 minutes back, that puts me 10 minutes, and then 10 minutes to eat and get there 5 minutes early. That's a little tight, but I'm going to try it.
So obviously the native audio input level I felt was a little bit too low, but if you listen carefully, you can hear me talking. And then of course, when I amped the volume up by 22 decibels, you could hear me pretty clearly. I think for the purposes of this device, it's fine. But for vlogging, you're definitely going to have to use some sort of external recording device if you do things like I do. So let me sum it up with some specs that helped me make this purchase decision. And I saved it to the last because it's a little bit geeky, but basically the front and rear lenses are very fast. The front lens is an f1.6, the rear lens is an f1.8 with the inclusion of the infrared LEDs. So this gives us a much greater ability for light gathering to give us better images in low light, like when you're driving at night. And then of course the infrared LEDs illuminate the entire cabin on the interior. It also uses very advanced Sony IMX sensors. There's an IMX335 in the front, IMX307 in the rear. And these are both very capable sensors. They have the Starvis technology, which is basically backside illumination with wide dynamic range and HDR capability. And as you can see from the video, the images are very, very good. Now, in terms of bit rate, I was getting about 15 to 17 megabits in the bit rate for the front camera and 10-11 megabits on the rear camera. I wish that was just a little higher, but it's really more than adequate for the purposes that we're using this camera for. Now, one thing I haven't really talked about is the Wi-Fi app. So I downloaded the CoxPal Wi-Fi app to my Android phone, and it's also available for Apple. And I was able to connect to the camera no problem, see the live view of what the camera sees with virtually no lag, maybe a half a second. And you could also control the camera, change the settings, and review any of the videos that were recorded onto the SD card in the camera. You could also download the videos to your phone, and then from there you can share them, which I didn't have any problems with either. So the app seems to work fine, but the challenge is it takes 3 to 5 minutes to download a single 5-minute clip. So that's a workflow I'm not willing to deal with personally. I'd rather just take the SD card out and put it in my computer and share it that way. So overall, I can highly recommend this Dashcam. I mean, it checks all my boxes for low price, excellent image quality, and I didn't mention that it takes up to a 256 gigabyte memory card. I use the Samsung Evo myself, works great. That'll give you 23 plus hours of recording, both front and rear. So if you're interested in purchasing this Dashcam, I have my affiliate links down below which support the channel, and I really appreciate it. I hope you like this review. If you'd like to see more videos, consider subscribing, hit the like button. But either way, thanks for watching, and hopefully we'll see you again soon.